talk about. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Monday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter /X, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 143 of the Throwdown, and today we are throwing down. We're doing something a little different and throwing down with a New York, New Jersey-based wrestling card collector and dealer. I give you the one and only Nick from Babyface Breaks. How you doing, Nick?
What's going on, Matt? How are you?
Man, if I were doing much better, there'd be 2 or 3 of me.
There you go. There you go.
And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have any questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and kind of start with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, Nick, how long have you been a fan of wrestling and the wrestling business?
Yeah, so I would say like my first memory, I'd be around like 5 or 6. I was at the Garden at a live show. I just know that from like photos, but I mean, ever since I was a kid, maybe like 8, 9, 10, really, really big into it. I'm 31 years old now, so ever since then.
Nice, nice. So, you said you saw pictures of yourself at a show at the Garden, but that you don't necessarily really have a lot of memory of it. What would you say is your earliest wrestling-related memory?
That's a good one. And it's weird that you said that because once I thought, it came right to me. It was actually we were sitting in the nosebleeds and I was with my aunt at the time. And one of the ushers was like fond of her and was like, "Hey, like I could take you backstage. You could take your nephew." So we went backstage and the first wrestler I ever met was Bubba Ray Dudley. And
Nice.
I remember something vividly, like, "Where's the kid? Where's the kid?" So he comes, he gives me a big bear hug, he puts me on his shoulders, and I have that photo somewhere. But that's about
Oh,
it.
that's
That's like the
cool.
only memory I have. Yeah, it's a cool
Oh,
one.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, I have not met him in person, but I have heard that Bubba Ray Dudley is actually one of the kindest people in the business. So
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard other sides, but I've heard,
yeah,
the kind side
yeah,
as well, you
yep.
know?
So based on your socials and what we were talking about, you had quite the weekend.
Oof.
So tell us about your experience actually being at SummerSlam. How was it?
Oh, SummerSlam, just the weekend was unbelievable. I started the weekend off on Friday, being a vendor at WrestleCon, and I was there Friday and Saturday. And then right after WrestleCon on Saturday, went right to SummerSlam, Saturday, Sunday, long weekend. But starting with WrestleCon first, it was just the most unbelievable experience. I mean, for the talent, the fans, like just seeing so many people that you want to see in the smallest area with not crazy amount of lines and stuff like that. And just the community being together and at a convention style, where it's not
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming to where I mean, some things with WWE, like the Superstore and stuff, get a little overwhelming. But
Right.
just being a vendor at WrestleCon was, oh man, one of the best experiences ever for sure. And then we'll go later on into SummerSlam as a whole because that's just like a whole hour's worth of story. So
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
yeah.
So uh, as a kid growing up, we all have those thoughts and dreams. But did you ever have aspirations to wrestle?
I mean, I think everybody as a kid had like the backyard wrestling,
Yeah,
where
of course.
me and my friends would do that a couple times. Um, Aspired to be a wrestler. I don't know. I really was just in love with watching it and how it made me feel.
Hmm.
So I don't think I ever really wanted to be. I just was in awe of what these these men and women could do, and just the stories they tell and stuff like that. So I just let it be like my escape and my enjoyment.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, that was really how it was with me as well. You know, at the at the time that I could have potentially pursued getting into the business, wrestling was still very much the land of the giants. And I'm
Right, right.
a pretty small guy. I'm around I'm between 5'5" and 5'6". Nowadays,
Okay.
the smaller athletic guys can still make a go of it in the business, but I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
back then there was just no way. I mean,
No,
uh,
yeah, I could see that for sure.
so, but in some ways, I feel like I live vicariously now through the smaller, athletic guys that are
Hmm.
out there just tearing the house down, day in and day out. I find
Oh,
that
for
very
sure.
inspiring. So.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, so how did the concept of Babyface Breaks come about? Tell us the story of your company.
Okay, so I was always a card collector for wrestling.
Hmm.
Not as big as obviously I am now, but in January they announced that Topps was buying out the licensing for WWE cards, and I saw previews of it. I heard their story, their business proposition, just the way that they were going to promote it and how clean the cards looked. And I saw an opportunity because I would go to these card shows here and there, and there was never a wrestling dealer. Maybe a couple people would have like a couple wrestling cards in their table, but it was all sports and Pokemon. So I was like, man, like I want people to be there and have wrestling in the space. So I just started building up a collection a little bit, made a following on Instagram, started doing a little bit of breaks, and started vending just right out of there because I just wanted a wrestling vendor to be at these card shows, because every time I'd go, there would never be one. So that's really how I
Right.
started it.
That is awesome. So, away from wrestling and all of this other stuff. I mean, I know you're a family man and such, but what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Yeah, Family Man's number one, of course. I do like watching sports, playing sports, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But as a number one, like you ask all my friends, like I'm Nick's the wrestling guy, and that's it. It's always been that way. And my half of my wardrobe is wrestling t-shirts. It's the only thing, like I told you before, the only thing that really stuck. Other things are like here in like phases, like golf and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
would say wrestling's number one for sure. Besides being a family man and a dad and a husband.
Right. Right. Yeah, like I said, before we went on the air, I've been a fan for gosh, coming up on 45 years now, and different levels of fandom at different points in your life. But the cool thing about wrestling is, if there's a phase in your life where you sort of drift away from it, it's always going to be there for you when you find your way back to it. And
Yeah.
that's the one of the really beautiful things about wrestling is it's just it's there. So
365, baby. I love it. There's nothing
yep.
like it. Nothing comes close. No off season, always there.
Yep. So what does your family think about all of this? What do they think about you pursuing this and being a part of a business that you love?
Don't get me wrong. Like wrestling's so big here. My kids are young. They're only 2.5 and like 6 months.
Hmm.
So both boys, they'll get into it soon. But right now, my wife's taking a little back seat towards it because it does consume a lot of time. I'm sure you know.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Like there's 4 wrestling shows, maybe more, because you watch a lot of indies a week, and cards are always changing. People are always changing. There's news always out, and you have to be up to date with this stuff, especially when you're in the business. You can't fall off a little bit. So
No.
she gives me my time, which I really appreciate. So it's like 7:30 here. The kids are sleeping. I do an hour or two, I'm just really freshen up. But she likes it. She sees that it's something I'm super passionate about. It's bringing in a little bit of income, and overall, she's a fan of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, my wife's the same way. She is not a wrestling fan, but since I've started doing these live streams, she watches the majority of them, and she is at least at the point now where she finally understands why I'm a fan. She
Oof, big,
she gets it, and at least
big.
I feel like that's huge. I
It's so big.
I never expect her to be a fan,
Hmm.
but she at least has she's picked up on a lot just by osmosis, and
Oh
and
man.
I'm just grateful for her support, as uh, I mean, having done this show now for a little over a year now, being a small part of a business I've loved for 45 years is just the best thing in the world, man. But you know that. I mean,
You couldn't have said it better, man. You really couldn't have. So
so um, are you originally from the New York, New Jersey area, or are you a transplant, or are you pretty much New York, New Jersey, born and bred?
yeah, born in New York. I went to college down in Florida for a little bit. I have a lot of
Okay,
family out in Florida, but other than that, for those couple of years, New York always.
gotcha. Out of curiosity, what part of Florida did you go to school in?
Boca Raton. I went to Lynn University.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
yeah. Actually, my wrestling fandom started when I was a kid in Florida. I got started watching the old Florida Championship Wrestling back when Gordon Soley was the commentator back in the early '80s, and my my first feud that I remember seeing was Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan, and
Wow.
and
Wow.
when you're 11 years old, Kevin Sullivan was a scary dude. I
Oh, I'm
mean,
sure. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
you come to find out later that the man was completely a sweetheart behind the scenes. But I
Yep.
mean, at the time though, he had the whole satanic gimmick going on, and
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
that's some heavy stuff when you're
When
11.
you're a kid, absolutely. Yeah. I have that same similar thing to the Brood.
Oh
I
yeah.
actually got to see Gangrel a couple weeks ago, and
Oh
the
nice.
nostalgia hit so much, and it was just like wow. Like I used to be so petrified of that dude, but now it's just super
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah, it's funny. Several years ago, I went to it was a fairly small comic book convention here in the Atlanta area. And I'm just wandering the vendor floor, and sitting over in a corner at a table by himself. And I had no idea he was going to be there, but sitting at this table over in the corner was Raven,
Oh wow.
and nobody was paying him any attention. Nobody seemed to really know who he was. So I wandered over there, and I ended up having about a half-hour conversation with Raven. Uh, and
Oh man,
and
isn't that the best?
it was just it was awesome because it was just so random. I didn't
Yep.
go to it even knowing he was going to be there, and
Oh, it's great.
um, yeah. So you know, random little serendipities like that are just so darn cool.
Yeah. So I had one this weekend at WrestleCon. Something so
Hmm.
similar. Um, your set tables. You're not really sure who you're going to be vending next to, and
Right.
I got the absolute pleasure to vend next to Mike Chioda.
Oh, how
And
cool!
I can't tell you, Matt. I mean, I'm wearing his shirt right now. The time
Nice.
we spent talking, like he's like that uncle you never had, and just listening to those stories is like worth more than $1 million. I mean, he was the most genuine dude. Just told me everything and just like was super cool. He gave me anything he wanted, shirts, 8x10s. He's like, took my number down, just like a genuine soul. And I think everybody around was like, "Oh, Kyoto's here, Kyoto's here," and we talked shop for hours, man. I didn't even want to leave. I actually was like, it was his birthday that day too, and I
Oh,
wanted to
how
buy him
cool.
a beer. He's like, "Oh, his family's from New Jersey, so we got to see his family." But what a guy, and just that randomness, like something I never expected. Just over the moon about that. Just unbelievable dude.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So, delving into a little bit of the news and wrestling, over the weekend, Saturday night, obviously we found out that Seth Rollins' knee injury at Saturday night's main event was at least to some level a work. um,
Right.
um,
Right.
were you shocked or surprised, or had you kind of figured it out?
I mean, it's really like the worst part of me. Like I'm one of those, I need to know what's going on and I need to try to
Yeah.
predict it. And it's the worst
Hmm.
part about me watching wrestling. I wish I could just shut myself up. But yeah, like in my head, especially after watching that Unreal documentary and just seeing how Hunter works, like how
Yeah.
could you top the greatest cash in ever? And then I saw that other crutch spot that he had.
Hmm.
That was somewhere similar too. It wasn't for a cash in, but I just knew that they were gonna put two and two together, and I think I called it like when he came out and then walked back. Without a doubt, I was like, that man is coming back and dropping the crutches, and we're going here. So
Yeah.
everyone's like, no, he's showing his face. He's showing his face. No, 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 no. That was unbelievable. I sort of knew it was gonna happen, but again, I'm my own worst enemy here. So
Yeah. You know, I kind of figured it was going to end up being a work fairly early on, for a couple of reasons. I've got a bit of a background in the medical field. I was a paramedic for a
right.
number of years,
Okay.
and normally when there is a legitimate injury, um, details about the injury come out fairly quickly. His situation remained murky a lot longer than it would have if it were real.
Gotcha.
He kept saying that the knee is swollen to the point where they can't get good images, and
Yeah.
that's not true. I mean,
Gotcha. Okay.
swollen or not, you can get enough of an image to tell if you've blown your ACL. And so I was like,
Okay.
okay, you know.
All right. So
So
you had it early on.
yeah, I mean, I was about 70-30 that it was a work. Um,
Okay.
and when he came out, like you said, when he did the little turn and he stopped, I was like, here it goes. And then the crutches
Yep.
drop, and I was like, that.
Yep. The
But
imagery was unbelievable. Just him hunching over, standing up straight, everything just was worked out perfectly.
oh, and I'm sure to be there and feel the crowd when that happened had to just be insane.
There's nothing like it. I mean, like, I have a problem with MetLife Stadium, and I think the viewing there is really, really bad. But
Hmm.
like you said, just being there and feeling it, even if I'm watching it on the TV and I'm looking up a couple times, it's like you can't even explain that type of feeling. So
Yeah, yeah. I not really a huge Goldberg guy, but I was in the Georgia Dome back in '98 when Goldberg went over Hogan, for the WCW title, and man, that place came unglued. I
yeah,
mean, to be there for that and just hear and feel that roar was
yeah,
just that was amazing. I mean, so
yeah.
I get what I completely get the feeling of that much of a crowd. That's
Oh
just.
man, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, the other big news was Brock Lesnar's return last night. Um, That one I was a bit more surprised about. You know, they pulled off a good shocker with that one. I was not expecting, honestly, I was not expecting Lesnar to come back ever. I thought he
Yeah.
was pretty much done with all of the fallout with the lawsuit and everything.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. The hopefulness in me wanted him always back because my number one PC, which is like the number one wrestler I collect, is Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And I have thousands of Brock Lesnar cards that were essentially worthless 24 hours ago. Um, and now I was just like hearing that music, talk
Yeah.
about the Rollins stuff. That was different, man. That was just different.
Oh yeah.
His aura is something that I'm a big aura guy. And that aura is something you can't teach, man. You can't build, you can't do anything about that. That's the
No,
beast right there.
it just is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking over at the YouTube chat, Brendan Robinson just put you over saying that you're the GOAT.
That's my guy right there.
Nice. So here is just just sort of a kind of a details question. You know, as fans, we all kind of have them, but what is your biggest wrestling related pet peeve? What about wrestling kind of sticks in your craw sometimes?
That's a really, really good one. I would have to think about that. Um, this could be like a super hot take.
Okay.
I don't want to offend. I don't like it's so sticky, but people who think Bret Hart is the best wrestler, I think that to me just really gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. Just never found that it factor with him, but my best friend swears by it, and I've tried. I've given him a shot, but I think that in that like technician Bret Hart type, that type of wrestling, I think that gives me the ick sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I've never been a huge Brett guy either. I mean,
Okay,
you know, he was great for what he was, but I mean, he wasn't all that. I mean,
I I can't agree more.
there are better in ring technicians than Bret Hart. I mean, for sure. I mean,
I agree. I agree totally. I'm not taking anything away from him too, but I couldn't get that like Bret Hart Austin. They're like, oh, the story that told. I just didn't see the story in that. Good match. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Great
yeah,
match. But I couldn't see the story, and I just saw similarities with every single one of his matches where you worked the one body part, and he. Don't get me wrong. He was perfection in the ring. He never botched, which was great.
right.
But I think that's my biggest pet peeve when someone says Bret Hart is the GOAT.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? Is there one particular match that's like comfort food that you can just find yourself gravitating back to it and it never really gets old?
Mm-hmm. Besides, there's two for me. One besides the finish would be Rollins Cena for the double belt at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was there, was one of them. That promo hits really, really good for me. The finish with Jon Stewart really like ruined it, but overall perfection has to be Punk Cena Money in the Bank. I mean, that is wrestling right there. That's everything you want in wrestling. The story, the captivation, the crowd. Oh man, perfect from head to toe for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I am really excited for the roller coaster ride that has been set up now with Rollins and Punk. I mean,
Oh,
you know, the you know the road between now and next Mania is going to be wild. I mean,
Yeah, and my opinion about those two, I think that they have come to an agreement, or like they just know. I think they're best friends, man. I think that whole
yeah.
hateful thing is a work, but they don't even
Oh,
got to
for
talk to
sure.
each other about it. They're
Yeah.
just over. Oh man, they're just so good,
Yeah.
and they're there day in day out. So it's not going to be a long awaited. We're going to get something once a week, and it's going to be massive. So
Yeah. Yeah. I had the pleasure several months ago of having Merrick Brave on the show, who is basically Rollins's business partner in the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, and
right.
he's known Seth since they were 14,
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of their
and
tag matches.
yeah,
Yeah.
and man, he had such interesting insights on the guy,
Yeah.
and I mean, just getting to kind of pick his brain and find out about that school, man, that they are really doing something special out at that school.
Oh yeah. I have a Black and the Brave wrestling school shirt actually. So
Oh, nice.
um I've seen there's a couple guys I follow on TikTok that are in the school right now, and like you
Hmm.
said, what they do, like the accommodations, and it's just like a full on 24-hour type thing. And they're really breeding some good talent out there, which is amazing.
They are, and the cool thing about it is, unlike a lot of wrestling schools, once you've gone through the program and you've graduated, you've basically got lifetime access to the facilities. So if you're ever back in town or whatever, you can go there and train for free.
It's
And
unbelievable.
yeah, it really is. And I've had some recent graduates, and on the show, and they've talked about how intense Rollins is when he happens to be there, helping teach. But at the same time, just how much the guy cares about the next generation that's coming up. And it's just, man,
You
it's
could
very cool.
you could see it. You could see it in him, and it's just a guy that's been there like through injury, through not, just shows up every day. I don't think the guy has his flowers. I don't think anybody gives it to him. Speaking of
No,
cards, his market is nowhere near top talent market. Where you
really.
could, yeah, it is the strangest thing. Where it's
Hmm.
just like a mid level, like $30 you can get a Seth Rollins autograph, which is very very
Wow.
strange to me. Yeah, it's really
Wow.
weird for sure.
Well, with what's coming, or what I'm suspecting is coming these next several months, that could be about to change. Hopefully,
I know.
hopefully the guy finally gets his real due.
Yeah, I think it's due, especially like with Heyman. Heyman could strap a rocket to your back right there, just being with
Oh,
him.
for sure.
You got the bronze there. It's a recipe for success. So
It
I hope he
is.
goes to the
It
moon.
is.
He deserves it. He really does. So
Absolutely. So looking at the Instagram chat, we've got Blackout Books, we've got the Wild Side Wrestling Podcast, we've got my son Zach, and my wife Julia, and JT, who's the guitarist for a metal band here in Atlanta called Death Blender. He's an old friend of mine.
oh, that's awesome.
Um, So, piggybacking on the question about the all-time favorite matches, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Are you talking like promo, like on the mic, or one of those
Yeah,
packages that they do on the mic?
promo on the mic. Yeah,
Oof, there's so many going through my brain right now.
there are. Yeah, there's a
Not for
lot of good
nothing.
ones.
Not for nothing, this might be super biased, but I was at SmackDown on Friday,
Hmm.
and that John Cena face turn
Yeah,
promo was, whew, That really got the kid in me. Like, I was so
Oh
upset he
yeah.
turned heel. I'm a number one Cena guy, and just hearing all that, just right up close, maybe like 15, 20 rows away. That had to be up there, honestly, for me. Just the vibes, because knowing that this is the last time I'm gonna hear him. So let's go with a current Cena promo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. That it was cool to see the Cena of old, you know,
Oh yeah,
because
oh, it's great.
unfortunately the whole Cena heel turn just never clicked. Um,
Never clicked. Nope.
and yeah, so I'm glad they kind of righted the ship, so to speak.
Yeah, like knowing what happened yesterday, it was the only thing to do. It felt a
Yeah,
little rushed, a weird face
yeah,
turn, but it's something we needed. They got to the point, they got it done.
yeah, absolutely. So, in your opinion, who are the best male and best female wrestler in the world right now at this moment? Who's the best man and who's the best woman?
Ooh, I gotta say right now it has to be Roman Reigns. I just really can't. I'm not on the Cody train. I like Cody. I think he's great. I got to go with Roman Reigns. I know the appearances are not there, but big aura guy, and
Yeah,
just presence and something like that is, again, we talked about, you can't teach. Uh, Seeing what he did, the amount of main events, and really looking at his numbers, it's unbelievable. The guy is unbelievable. And just seeing him in person is just like, wow, like he really is something else. Um, for the women, it's weird. I really want to say Tony Storm because just of the work she's doing right now. But
mm-hmm.
if we're going WWE, oh man, that's tough. Like Rhea Ripley has to be in the conversation. Um, Charlotte Flair still does it for me. She's unbelievable in her getting over. But we'll say Rhea Ripley just for the easy
Yeah,
answer and just with the stuff she's doing, how young she is, the
yeah,
aura, the presence, and just you don't need to put a belt on her. You could put a belt on her. She's a Swiss Army knife. So gotta say, Roman
absolutely.
Reigns, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, yeah. I've said this a few times recently, but something I'm really excited about, now that she is in the WWE system, I am dying to see Rhea Ripley and Jordan Grace work a program together. I think those two women could tear the house down. I mean, two powerhouses. I mean,
Hmm.
as I'm I-
Yeah,
I am so excited for that to happen, and it's coming down the road. I mean,
yeah. Jordan looks a little uncomfortable in NXT, and I think once she gets up there to the main roster, she'll fit right in.
yeah,
You think she's gonna be a heel? Yeah,
um,
I think she could do better work as a heel, honestly, right now.
yeah, yeah. I think so. Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm definitely excited for those two to lock it up. I think they
Oh
could
yeah.
really do some great stuff. So we were talking a little bit about social media in general. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling and for what you've got going? What's your take on the importance of social media?
I think it's everything right now. You see the success that it brought Logan Paul. I mean,
Yeah,
the number one person you have to talk about right now is Cardona. If you're talking about social media,
yeah,
the dude is the absolute king, and there's nobody even close. There's people taking notes from him left and right. Uh, it's the biggest thing in the world right now. I mean, without social media, businesses can't thrive. It's huge. And if you're not on the train, then you're fully against it. I mean, it's the biggest thing, and especially for me, as a collector and a vendor and a seller. I have my cards. People have access to my cards from all around the world. I post pictures of them, post videos, and just content right now is through the roof, and everybody's on their phone. So social media is king. It's unstoppable.
Absolutely. So, knowing everything that you know at this point in your life, 31 years in, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
That's so good. That is so good. Um, I think I tried a little too hard back in the day to get something like this going, to be like engaged in the community and have a presence in social media. And I sort of forced myself into other channels and other communities and stuff like that. But the best advice is just do what you love. I think that's the easiest thing in the world. If you wake up every day and you're not doing what you like, it's going to be a long, rough road. So just do what you love, stick to it, and things work out. It really does. So
Absolutely. So, at this point, I want to hear some more stories about your weekend. So, tell us.
all right. So like I said, the Kyoto thing had to be my highlight. Guy's an
Hmm.
awesome, awesome dude. Just being around WrestleCon and having people come up. A big one was Zilla Fatu. I gave him a couple free cards of Afansika, of Umaga, and
Hmm.
that is a genuine dude right there. I think he's on the come up. He's just an unbelievable talent, the aura, just the personality. That had to be a big highlight. And then SummerSlam, just the tailgate experience was cool. The matches were stacked head to toe.
Oh yeah.
One thing disappointed me. I'm a big Jacob Fatu fan, so that
Hmm.
really bummed me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yesterday, I'm sure you could hear it in my voice. Just from the Dirty Dom match right into the Cena match. That's just an all-time moment right there. Dirty Dom's unbelievable. I mean, I'm such a huge Dirty Dom fan. It's crazy.
Yeah.
My section was going nuts for him, and I'm sure the whole state. I can't even talk because I was screaming so much for him. But I think seeing Cena for the last time. I don't think I'm gonna make it out to Boston in December, so I
Hmm.
sort of had to like say my goodbyes there.
Yeah.
And a piece of my childhood, died right there. But something to just look forward to now. Hopefully, I can show my kids some Cena matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, SummerSlam, just the weekend as a whole, like WrestleMania has that weekend. It's meant to be a 2-day thing. It's the biggest party of the summer, so it definitely felt that way for sure. Long, long weekend, SmackDown, 2 nights of SummerSlam, 2 days of WrestleCon. I mean, and now we get Monday Night Raw in a little bit. Oh, it's on right now, but I'll be going to sleep to Monday Night Raw. It's just perfect weekend. That's all I could say. Perfect, perfect weekend.
Absolutely, man. So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of just a fun thing is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. And
Okay.
my previous guest was actually another New York guy. I had the King of Chaos, Logan Black, who he's an indie wrestler in New York City and is also the head trainer at the T2T Wrestling Academy in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And so the question that he posed is it's just kind of a random question, but what is your favorite comic book character and why?
Favorite comic book character? Um, I think right now just seeing my son's love for Spider-Man just brought back all the Spider-Man stuff for me. So let's go with Spider-Man just because my son is absolutely obsessed with them.
Gotcha, gotcha. And since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the next guest?
You know who it is?
Yeah, actually, we'll go ahead and put this up on the screen. Um, this Wednesday, the 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 144 with an Atlanta based wrestler, Public Enemy #1, Vivian Cross. So, I mean, the question does not have to be particular to her, but is there a question that you would like to pose?
It's funny you say public enemy number one because there's a Staten Island wrestler who I actually work with, TJ Marconi, who's public enemy number one. So let's go with who's the real public enemy number one.
Oh, nice. Nice. Let me jot that down. So, we're getting toward the end of things now. So, do you have any upcoming card shows or conventions or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Right now I have nothing booked. I sort of stacked all my cards for WrestleCon here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely that's my bread and butter, where like wrestling conventions I do the most well at. Nothing coming up. I'm keeping the schedule sort of open for the end of summer, hanging out with the wife, the kids, taking really like a chill chill road here because wrestling's gonna die down a little bit, obviously after SummerSlam.
Right.
So nothing really planned in the horizon right now.
Got you. Got you. Um, like I said, as far as what we've got coming up, on Wednesday at 7, we've got episode 144 with Vivian Cross. And then next Monday, the 11th, gosh, time is flying along.
Oh, it really is.
At 7, I've got episode 145 with another Atlanta-based wrestler, Jimmy Darren. And then next Wednesday, the 13th, I've actually got a rescheduled episode 134 with another Atlanta guy, Zamir Zuriel. We had attempted to have him on about a month ago, and we ran into some technical issues, so we ended up having to reschedule. But he's an interesting guy, and I'm definitely looking forward to having him back on and actually hopefully getting the most out of his appearance this time. So anyway, before we wrap all of this up, do you have any final words or anything you'd like to say? Put yourself over, put Babyface Breaks over, man, because what you're doing is so unique, and like you said, having a wrestling presence at these card shows is so crucial for the business.
For sure, and it's only getting bigger. We just got the pre-order for another set today, which a lot of people struck out on, but don't worry. I will be doing a lot of breaks coming up. I think August 28th is when the release date for those are.
Mm-hmm.
And us and my team at All Sports Breaks are going to be doing some big things there. Just running breaks and putting wrestling out into the community. Hopefully we could build a bigger presence for wrestling because it is on its way up. I mean, it was the biggest at the National Card Convention this year. People told me I should have been there. So, but anyway, like for me, it's just putting wrestling over, like you said, putting myself over. Come check me out on Instagram if you're into wrestling cards. And Matt, I would love to send you something. So please send me your favorite wrestlers and your address, and I'll send you over a little package. But yeah, come to my Instagram, check out the collection. If you have any questions, just let me know. You have any card you want to track down, I could definitely find it. So just follow me at Babyface Breaks on Instagram.
Absolutely, man. I was, I've been kind of, paying attention to your socials, and I'm not, not really, I guess, understanding the whole card collecting game exactly. I don't know exactly what is going on, but it looks like you're holding Tops's feet to the fire. What's going on with that?
Oh man, I got a bunch of backlash for that today for sure. I put out a video. A couple people didn't like it. Basically, what Topps is doing is that they bought the license for WWE, so
Right.
there's no more Panini, which I'm sure it's the cards you all see were all made by Panini in past years. And they gave the public what they wanted, which was just product to open up and have fun and trade around. We haven't seen new product from Topps since March. We haven't got a single new product. And they
Really?
had wrestlers. Yep, they had wrestlers signing. I think they announced in March like six more products coming out for wrestling. They had wrestlers signing every single one of the products, and we're just seeing snippets. And then they finally announced something. August 1st was no, not August 1st. Might have been a date in July. I think July 19th or something like that, where they were doing the pre-order. July 19th comes around. They don't say anything about it. The pre-order never drops. They never put out another word about it. And wrestling fans are hungry for some product here, and Topps is not
Oh, for
delivering.
sure. Um,
Yeah, so really not happy with what they're doing. It's just like the collector and me, and just for the general public, I'm speaking for, because the only products going to like these bigger companies that have a lot of capital and that are in bed with Topps. So I don't want to be that guy, but I got to be the voice of the voiceless here. We're not happy with what's going on here, and these big people are hoarding these cards, and we just want to open some stuff and have some more cards in the collection here. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
So do you think it's that Topps is just not prioritizing wrestling at this point, or are they having technical issues or production issues? What is your sense of what's going on?
It's all the above. It's they're not prioritizing wrestling at all, which is the weirdest thing because they actually have like a raffle system come out for
Hmm.
when wrestling comes out because we shut down the website. We want it. We're there. They come out with baseball,
Right.
basketball, a million different products every single week, and the wrestling fans are hungry, like I said, and no other company could make wrestling cards anymore because Topps bought out the license. Um, do I people said there was issues with Travis Scott because the next set is Cactus Jack. It is based on his name and his brand.
Hmm.
They were saying it's that, but I really think they're not prioritizing wrestling, and when they do and when they drop these products, they're just going to bigger companies and they're just gonna price gouge it, and it's just not good for the hobby. Is That's my personal opinion, and I got backlash for it today, but I'm not gonna stop talking about it.
Absolutely, man. And as white hot as wrestling is right now, they are shooting themselves in the foot by not
I
prioritizing it. I mean,
it's unbelievable. They have things called tops now, right? Where
mhm,
like if a certain thing happens, in all sports, if a certain thing happens, like on Monday Night Raw, Dom Mysterio wins the IC title, something like that. They'll take a picture of that and then they'll post it that same day, and it's made to
yeah,
order. And the wrestling ones are by far the most bought ones. Like the John Cena, Travis Scott, The Rock photo, I think was the second most bought Tops Now card, maybe number one in all of history. So it's crazy. I really don't know what they're doing. Um, and we're hungry for it. I mean, it like you said, it's white hot. Wrestling hasn't been this good for more than I think 4 to 5 years, to be honest with you, right? Maybe
oh,
even
for
more.
sure, yeah,
Um, and you just see the numbers. 2 day SummerSlam now, 113,000 people. Social media is going wild over it. I mean, every person on the street knows what wrestling is now. It's crazy. I've never seen it. Wrestling's cool now. Finally, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and it's like you said, they're shooting themselves in the foot. And the common fan, we're in the general public here. We just want to buy a couple boxes and rip them open, get a couple cards, call it a day. But they're making it impossible. So
it's a shame, man.
yeah, really is. Go look on eBay right now on how much these boxes are selling for. I mean, like, it's just, it's unbelievable. It's bad.
Yep. But before we wrap this up, I'm going to take you through a quick rundown of speed round. I've got
Okay.
a list. I've got a list of some names here. I'm going to go through this list with you, and as I name a name, I just want your first thoughts. So it's just kind of random name association.
Oh, this could be bad, but
Jeff Hardy,
high flyer.
Penta,
Over.
Paul Heyman,
The GOAT.
Kenny Omega,
Eh.
Sami Zayn,
Eh.
Rey Mysterio,
Legend.
Joe Gacy,
Up and coming.
Mystico,
Eh.
Jimmy Snuka,
Don't know enough about.
Drew McIntyre.
Love him to death.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was talking to somebody who recently met McIntyre at a show. It was actually Caden's mom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they met McIntyre outside of a show, and they said that you don't fully realize how physically big he is until you're standing there with him. The camera doesn't do him justice. He is just a massive human being. But apparently he's another one that is truly just a kind person. When
I've heard it many
yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
I actually have a story about that for WrestleCon. And I did a wrestling convention up in the Northeast a couple months ago. JBL is one of those sneaky big guys for me. I was like, holy crap, that is a massive human. And then I was at the hotel, like check-in, getting like a roll of paper towels to clean up my station. And Jake the Snake Roberts was behind me. And oh my God, that dude is huge. The camera does not do him justice at all either. And I couldn't believe it. And he is massive, absolutely massive. So I understand where they come from. What is Drew, like 6'5", something like that, 6'6"?
Something like that, yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, but just he's bigger than you think he is. So
Yeah, they did him dirty, man. I'm a big Drew McIntyre guy, and you know,
yeah.
I see the frustration in him, and you know, it stinks, but he'll get his flowers again.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. You know,
Yeah.
you know, speaking of Jake Roberts, a while back, I had a guy on the show. He's actually a deathmatch wrestler here in Atlanta, but he also works for Diamond Dallas Page as a video editor for a lot of the DDP yoga stuff. And
Oh,
he was involved in the making of the Jake Roberts documentary after DDP more or less kind of saved Jake.
right.
And
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great one.
and he got to spend a lot of time, you know, around Jake, and said the guy is just such an amazing mind. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh,
And
yeah, obviously.
and you know, as a kid, I loved and still love Jake's promo style, because he would very rarely raise his voice. He would just quietly tell you what he was going to do, and project menace in a different way. You know, they say fear the quiet ones, and
Right.
you know, and like Raven's promos are very similar. You know, going back to the subject of Raven, you know, his promo style was very similar to Jake's. You know, rarely would raise his voice, but just project that quiet menace. So
That's so
anyway.
interesting. So there's something I do too, Matt. Everybody I talk to about wrestling, I always ask, like you said, you grew up in different wrestling times. For me, just give me three matches, three must watch matches for you that you probably don't think I've seen.
Okay. From 1989, and it is out there on YouTube. There is an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk from a WCW Clash of the Champions. It
Okay,
is
so
worth
89, Flair and Terry Funk.
Flair and Funk. I Quit. Beautifully done. I
Okay.
mean, it is a master class in storytelling and psychology.
Okay.
Another, this one you've probably seen, but I just, I love this match just for what it was. And that is the triple threat at Mania 20 between Benoit, Hunter,
Oh,
and Shawn. I mean,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. He's sort of like Voldemort in the world, but the work is, it's incredible, especially for, like you said, smaller dudes. He's really opened up that world for them over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's definitely a shame, that, like you said, he's kind of Voldemort, but I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, you've definitely got to, obviously, it's terrible what happens, to his wife and son. I
Of
mean,
course. Yeah. Of course.
that should never have happened. Uh,
Right.
but at the same time, though, the man's, you've I can actually separate the man's resume of work from
I
what he did, and
I did the same thing.
you can't take that away.
Nope.
uh, you know, uh,
No.
I, I still maintain he was one of the best to ever do it, but terrible human being. But
Yeah. Same. Yeah. You could do the same with Hogan too, like with that
yeah,
type of stuff. But the line of work, yeah, it speaks for itself. It's unbelievable. Should he be recognized? Probably not. But to go back and watch the matches, it's he was an unbelievable athlete, unbelievable superstar. So
yep, yep. And as far as a third match, another one that just springs to mind just because of just the sheer brutality of it is, Samoa Joe and Necro Butcher.
Samoa Joe
Uh,
and Necro Butcher. What promotion?
it was on the Indies. I'm not
Ring of
sure
Honor,
what.
maybe?
I don't think it was Ring of Honor. I think it was, it was an indie.
Okay.
But it's on YouTube.
Okay.
So
Those are the matches I
find it.
love. So
uh, Find it, and you'll thank me later. It's, uh, don't watch it with the children.
no, no. Copy that. I got you. I got you on that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's my homework for the week. And I'll get back to you later on those, and I'm excited to watch them for sure.
yeah. The Flair Funk one, especially, man, you'll thank me later. It's beautiful.
That's what I want to get more into, like those late '80s type of matches, because wasn't a big territory guy, and um I haven't seen much of the Flairs and the Jake the Snakes and Jerry the King Lawler and all those guys. So definitely excited
Yeah.
about that.
One more I'll throw at you, just for fun is, and it's also out there on YouTube. Check out, the match at Texas Stadium between, Kerry Von Erich and Ric Flair when Kerry went over, after David's death.
Okay, was
And
that featured on Iron Claw?
it was, yeah.
It was, right? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So I've never seen that actual match. I saw the entrances, and it was just in a big giant football stadium, right? It
yeah,
came in through the crowd, one of those. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've seen the entrances. I never watched the match.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's exciting. I mean, I was 15.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I remember watching it. there was probably about a week delay between when it happened and when it made its way onto TV in Georgia.
Right.
But and back then there wasn't really there was no internet or dirt sheets, so I knew the match was happening, but I had no idea what the outcome was. And then I got to see it, and and see it as close to live as you could, and it was fun. So.
All right.
So anyway,
sure.
yeah, that's another one that's definitely worth your time, man.
Noted, for sure.
But Nick, man, this has been a blast. I have, just nerding out about this stuff with like-minded people is just the best thing in the world. It really is.
There's really nothing better. I could do it. I did it all weekend and still doing it here on the Monday night. So it's the best thing in the world.
And man, you're part of the family now, so you've got a standing invitation to come back anytime you want. And I look forward to continue to put Babyface Breaks over. You're doing God's work, man, and just promoting the business in general through what you're doing. So God bless, man.
Yeah, I think you're doing the same, Matt. I really appreciate all the content and putting the indie guys over and giving them a platform. There's nothing better than that. So likewise to you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm obviously trying to do my own thing, but to some extent, I'm trying to sort of be the Chris Van Vliet for the indies, and sort of have it be more of a conversation than an interview, because that's what I dig about what Chris does, man. It's very much just, like I said, two guys nerding out,
Oh yeah. I listen to him, like twice a week, and he's an unbelievable dude. I sent him a couple things too. Yeah, he was, I actually got to meet up with him at Fanatics Fest, and he remembered me, and we had a cool little conversation, took a photo, and guy's awesome, man. He really is.
Yep. Well, anyway, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. All of my socials are on my link tree on Instagram. And until Wednesday night at 7 with Public Enemy #1, Vivian Cross, be